well, here is my full scene, as you can see. I'll even show you what it looks like in game. This is what it looks like in the game. Boom. Um, so what I've done here is I've created prefabs with my textures using Unity planes. And then I've taken those prefabs and using this tool called Unity Modular Buildings Framework, I have gone ahead and created building blocks to make buildings, starting off with the elements, which are individual kind of setups for all the prefabs, which then go into becoming columns, which then go into becoming lines until they get to being boxes. And I'll quickly give you a little showcase of how that works. So I'll create an empty, I'll reset it, and now using the box builder right here, I'll name this test. You put the empty into the target. Oops. Well, that shows it for you, but let's pick another type of building. Let's say you want to see black and gray building, something, something. So here's how that looks like. You can move it around, of course. And using these parameters here, you can change the length, which automatically removes stacks, the height, and the depth. So it's pretty customizable. Now, I do want to say that they on purpose don't have a roof. I have made roofs. They do work with roofs. Just for optimization reasons, I thought that nobody's going to see them anyway, so why should I add them if they're going to be just extra planes and tries and everything? So that is why they're not there. Now, as you can probably tell from this, if you look into it, it's just 1,000 little prefabs that have been stacked together, which are not very optimized. I don't think I can open this on any other laptop. So what you can do now is there is this other part of the tool called the mesh combiner. And basically, I'll quickly create a new empty and reset it. So what you can do is you have an empty, you put it into as a target, so that's where the combined mesh is going to spawn. You take the one that you made, put it into the source. And now, a boom, watch as magic happens. What happened here is it took the meshes that are the same element, and it went ahead and combined them, which is really cool. And that obviously saves a lot of rendering for Unity to be doing. I think this is like what 50 or something, and this is just 2. So pretty great, pretty nice. And now since those are meshes that need to be saved, you can then export it, call it something. Okay, not this. Nope. Yeah, test combine, whatever, save that. And then you can drag this over as a prefab, like so. And now you can happily and jollily combine it and put it and populate your scene and move it around. And that's how I've made those back buildings. Went ahead and I took screenshots of each individual building, aiming to analyze it and then see which textures are the same and which ones I can use for other buildings. You can see that in the doc as well. And after analyzing those individually, I went ahead and I basically picked out all the textures, which I think come down to 36 or something in total. These are the in-game ones right here, this whole bunch. They look like side to side with the in-game ones, so those ones at the top are the in-game materials, those ones at the bottom are my materials. And you can see the amount of time that's gone into making them as accurate as possible. For example, this one, that one blind that's blacked out is the same here, and the balcony is also really detailed. So I've gone into a lot of time to make them accurate, make them as believable as possible, and also optimizing them within Substance and exposing all the parameters. Each single material has at least one parameter exposed, whether that's the placement of the bricks, the placement of the cracks, all those things. I'll show you quickly a bit about them in Substance. So here it is, all nice and framed and documented and everything. Some of the exposed materials, I think, yeah, here you can see which ones are exposed. You can change the cracks on that one. This is my crossing material, which I like quite a lot. I think it came really close to the actual in-game material. Here's the red balcony. It's going to take a second to look because that one's pretty humongous. It's quite complex. But it's pretty cool, I think. All those tiny details in the cracks, tiny details in the surfaces of it. I think so. The shop paper one is actually really detailed, you could say. Look at all this. Of course, it's all nicely framed and everything. You can see all of this. And it's quite customizable. So you can change the size of the windows here. You can change the seed of the wear and tear. Pretty dope. I even made this little vents on the bottom. And all of that has been meticulously looked into, detailed everything. So that's where all my efforts went into, pretty much, the materials. And I've made a lot of them. You can see them right here, probably what you'd like to see. So let's start off with this, for example, window, which is the fancy red balcony one. You can edit whether or not the frame is on or off. So I can turn off basically the window, and I can randomize the wear and tear on them. So that's pretty dope. I can also do the same for the red bricks here. Actually, I have turned them off, but you can see if I turn it on. There they are. Oops. So where is my glass? There it is. They're quite detailed, and you can of course randomize that type of stuff. You can also change the amount of bricks on here. There is of course limits to the parameters so that you don't go crazy and have like 10,000 bricks, because it does not look natural. So I've done that as well. And I think every Substaince has at least like a few parameters exposed. If I go into the zebra crossing, change. See, there's a lot of stuff you can change on that one. So you can change the edge width of the cracks. You can change the amount of dirt. You can change the oil spill, which is these dots on it. You can change the amount of lines. You can change the cracks. And it's just a lot of customizability in this. You can make it more. You can change the amount of shingles. Just a lot. And then if I take off the wear amount, they look kind of, brand new and everything. You can really play around, but that's just a taste for it. Change quite a lot of stuff here as well. You can change the amount, of course. You can change a lot of the amounts. They all have, of course, limits to the parameters so that you don't go overboard. The dirt you can change. You can change the amount of size of the dirt. You can also change the color a bit. So you can change how the gradient goes. You can change that, which I thought was really awesome. And then you can make more cracks, which are not that visible right now, but you can add them in. And of course, randomize all the seeds and everything.